I should say at the beginning of this one that... I mean, I don't know what kind of warning to give you, really.
Okay.
Oh, wow, this is
All
good.
I'm saying is,
Suspense.
you know the opening few minutes of Casualty?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit like that.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Debbie, thank you very much indeed for your tale. Dear Father Simon and the Holy Collective, forgive me, for I have sinned. Many years ago, when my eldest daughter was 16, was enjoying the beginning of her summer holiday after a stressful bout of GCSEs, she was playing It with my youngest daughter, who at the time was 10. This, as I'm sure all parents will agree, is a good thing. After all the exam stress, this was a good way to get some exercise, plus some sisterly bonding was happening. It was a win-win situation, as we didn't say back then. As they were running around the back garden, I'm already nervous. As they were running around the back garden laughing and playing...
Oh, nothing can go wrong.
Was there a rake?
Oh, no.
So the fact that they're laughing and playing makes it even
better.
worse. I was boiling the potatoes for our cottage pie dinner that night.
Nothing
There's an
going
oven
wrong.
involved. My eldest daughter, running into the house for fear of being caught in the game of It, misjudged her speed and direction. Only concentrating on not being caught, she accidentally hit her wrist on the cabinet. Gave it quite a thud. Actually, now I think about it, it was quite a crack. A few moments later, she walked up to me and said, "Mum, I don't think this looks right."
Oh, no.
I looked across and in horror saw that a bone was protruding
Oh, don't show us pictures, will you?
from her skin.
Okay.
I thought, that really doesn't look right at all.
No,
I've
it
seen
doesn't.
Casualty. I know what a healthy wrist looks like. That's not one.
Okay.
Having diagnosed that something was amiss, I bundled her into the car and my youngest off to her friends, and we set off for the then quite local A&E. On arriving at the entrance to the then quite local A&E, I had a momentary thought about my boiled potatoes sitting on the stove. I couldn't remember whether I'd turned them off or not. I'd been sure that I had, but once that doubt is in your mind, there's nothing you can do about it. So in a panic, I abandoned my daughter outside A&E and rushed home to save the potatoes. All the while, images of my kitchen in flames came unbidden to my brain. I ran in the house. You will doubtless be worried for me at this point, but you will then be pleased to know, Father Simon, that I had indeed remembered to turn the hob off. Breathing the biggest sigh of relief ever, I got back in the car and returned to A&E to seek out my daughter. I was directed to a ward. I'm not laughing because it's not funny. I was directed to a ward only to my surprise to find several of the medical profession around her surveying her left foot and leg. "Oh, hello," I said sarcastically. "She hurt her wrist. You can find it on the end of her arm, not her leg. Duh."
Because I'm a valley girl in the early 90s.
And then this happened, and I swear I will never forget it as long as I live. One of the doctors took me aside and described to my horror that in my haste to avoid a potato-based catastrophe, I had inadvertently run over my daughter's foot and left her outside A&E. She wasn't happy. In fact, she was howling. "I'm off to sort the potatoes out.
Bye!
You'll be fine. Just go in." I would therefore like forgiveness, Father Simon, not from my daughter, who never fails to remind me, I'm sure she does, never fails to remind me that her summer break and ability to wear high heels was messed up due to potatoes. But instead, I want to seek forgiveness from the wonderful NHS medical staff who were treating her whilst I insulted their basic anatomical knowledge. Thank you very much indeed. Lots of love, Debbie. Well, I must say that if I was your daughter, I might take every opportunity. So, you know that time when the potato... Well, thanks a lot. Anyway, it was one thing and then it became something a whole lot worse. Sister Bobby.
It could have been even worse, isn't it? Because you can imagine the daughter telling the doctor and going, "Well, look, I was chased by my sister and then my mum ran over me." It doesn't look good at home, does it, really? Just momentarily from another
But nobody
perspective.
did it, no, she was, I suppose, in the reversal, that's not...
All the chaos. Oh, yes, you got it to the safe place. I have to say, it's a lovely, wonderful, funny tale after the effect. And if it didn't happen to it didn't happen to you, which is lovely. It happened to your daughter. You took care of her. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing. I still think it's still one of my favourites ever. Of course, you're forgiven this time. If your daughter forgives you, I think we can forgive you. You didn't mean to, and you did have the perspective, the possible of the house on fire. Sorry, I'm tripping. I'm laughing too much. Sorry, save me.
Well, I think, but the thing, you still got to reverse carefully. Even though you think your kitchen might be better, you still got to look in the mirror.
True.
Yes, but that's the thing is, you don't, do you? Be careful around reversing vehicles, because it's also maybe just her daughter's fault a little bit.
Yeah, there's a good one.
Oh, it's your daughter's fault.
Daughter's fault. Yeah, I like that. I'm pretty sure there is a German word for the feeling you get when you think you've left something on the hob and you've left the house. But is there a German word for I'm going to reverse over my daughter's foot and leave her outside A&E
Probably.
on the off chance? Yes, I think there probably is. So on the basis of that, I am going to forgive, because I'm sure this kind of thing happens all the time.
No, it doesn't.
I'm sure that A&E, people who work at A&E will be going on and on about, oh, do you remember that time when somebody came in because they'd been reversed over, even though they were here with a broken arm? Happens all the time. Definitely forgiven.